Hey everyone, we're back with another update to FUBAR. We have lots to show this time around, and some other stuff you may have missed. If you want to see some exclusive releases early, make sure to join the Discord in the description. We are also looking to fill many roles still, so stick around until the end to see how you could be our next contributor to the project. GoRibby has, as always, been hard at work animating our weapons. The latest addition to our view models is our frag grenade. Andrew did a lovely job here, not only making the barnacle look disgusting, but it is also designed so that it has a satisfying view in the view models.
When sculpting the barnacle, Amy and I really wanted it to appear closer to the Half-Life 1 version over its later versions. Unfortunately for me, the original barnacle is more or less just a cylinder with a tongue coming out, which makes it hard to use as a reference. To help flesh out the design, I tried to find as many different versions of the barnacle I could to use as reference, trying to pull anything I found interesting into my design while maintaining the goal of this clearly being the Half-Life 1 version of the barnacle. Black teeth, predominantly red skin, and a more rigid-looking structure was what I decided made the Half-Life 1 version stand out from the others. This allowed me to freely pull other design choices in from other versions of the barnacle, like the iconic internal mouth or the general arrangement of the teeth as seen in its Half-Life 2 and Half-Life Alyx iterations. The barnacle will be more than just an enemy to kill and avoid. I also needed to make sure that it looked interesting from a first-person perspective, which I achieved mainly through the texture and roughness variations that are more clearly seen up close in a first-person view. While right now it may seem stiff in these proof-of-concept images, once it's animated and writhing on screen, I think it'll look and feel much more alive than its predecessor in the original posing force.
We've shown off our head crabs before, but it also has a full set of animations done for it by the good chap, and I love how these turned out.
For the head crab, my main objective here was to exaggerate its movements to compensate for its small size. I was aiming for a violent small critter feeling to give off the vibe that something so small can still be just as deadly. My main reference for this was the Half-Life 2 animations, in which I essentially tried to make more enhanced versions of them while still giving these new animations a more unique charm to them.
The head crab, and more creatures to come, have received a full set of gibs and code support for different conditions that trigger them depending on damage type and amount, so they can be blown apart by things like the shotgun and deagle, but smaller firearms will keep them intact. Furnace, the sub-level blast tubes of Black Mesa, has been given to our mapper SNW, who has been working hard to give this area a huge facelift. Here are some blockout screenshots of the map, and he has some words to say about it. SNW says, "When I was first assigned with Furnace, I was rather intrigued with the idea as the presence of halls of fire in the basement of Black Mesa didn't seem to make sense in the terms of visuals. Given this new opportunity handed to me, I had one simple mindset: create an enjoyable yet unique experience. When it comes to a furnace, fire is the main theme here. My revision of Furnace further expands upon fire being used as both a gameplay element, an obstacle, and even a beneficial mechanic in certain cases. Areas have been greatly reworked and appropriately added to fit for a modern touch in the Source engine, allowing for things simply not possible for Gold Source to achieve for its time. Not to mention our first glimpse of Zen overgrowth and what other dangers and creatures lie just beyond its ominous appearance alone. Maintaining the map's originality while giving it a new, dark, and grittier undertone has proven to be quite a bit of a challenge, but should remain true to its originality. Familiar to both older players yet appealing to new players alike, my end goal consists of nothing but to possess a fine level of quality for all, and I certainly hope you enjoy it just as much as I do making it." Here's a classic Xenian that we have modeled and animated now, the Zenlight. Modeled by me and animated by the good chap, these creatures will be seen in our Earthbound and Xenian levels, providing light to otherwise dark alien caves. And the animations really give them a lot of personality while still looking very gross.
Something that proved to be a little more challenging to create was the Zenlight, as it was not only slightly harder to think of an effective rig, but it was also difficult getting the movements to look right. I aimed to get an elegant feel with it in its idle animations and a more jittery and over-the-top reaction for its pain and retract ones, to emphasize on the character of the creature, that being its extremely fragile nature both physically and potentially mentally. My arm proved to be an effective reference for the Zenlight. Sometimes the simplest approach is the best approach.
You may have already caught a glimpse of this because even though it was created for FUBAR, it's already in the intro for Raising the Bar Redux. For the tram, because an entire level is spent in this thing, I gave it the extra attention I believe it deserves. Firstly, we made its proportions a little bit bigger to give the player more legroom to work with while it makes its way through transit. I took reference from the original tram model from Half-Life 1, while also using real-world references like the New York City subway cars. I tried to stay true to a lot of features seen in the Half-Life 1 brush trams, while adding details that I thought would give it a little bit of character. And speaking of transit, here's a sneak peek of Transit by Jane.
After making radio contact at the crash site of Goose 7, Adrian finally has a lead on where to go in order to get evacuated before it's too late. The Black Mesa transit system. From a design perspective, developing the transit map has been one of the most interesting ones I've ever done. The original map, as small as it was intense and made the absolute most of its space. My goal going in was to preserve that feeling, expanding on it without straying too far from what made the original as impactful as it was. As you cross the threshold of Sector E, you'll see many sights during the bumpy ride to the transit hub. You may even catch a glimpse at a future location you'll visit later on down the line. This map serves to greatly expand on the overall scale of Sector E and the transit system as a whole, while providing the player with a moment of downtime in between two major combat-filled levels. This map locks you inside a slow-moving coffin of a roller coaster, moving through a facility on the verge of collapse, and I can't wait for you to experience it firsthand.
You may have missed the small tease we did of our shock trooper.
Who's that Pokemon?
It's Pikachu!
It's Clefairy!
Our shock trooper is also currently in progress of being animated, and I could not be more excited. More to come on that in the future. Our shotgun model, made by our weapons modeler Nadia, is coming along very nicely. The weapon is also being built with animation in mind. Now I'm sure you're wondering if we're going to have the stock folded or unfolded. For that we have plans, but the model has been created to take both arrangements into account. We also made the decision to not make the shotgun look experimental or like it has the double barrels to match the double shot gameplay mechanic, and instead we are allowing it to just exist as it did in the original. Because as Gabe said,
And you'd have these conversations where you'd be sitting in a design review and somebody'd say, that's not realistic. And you're like, okay, what does that have to, like, explain to me why that's interesting, because I've never thought to myself that realism is fun. I go play games to have fun.
we have a new track available to listen to, this one taking a lot of inspiration from the original OST and using the very same sounds recreated to stay true to opposing force. Coming near the end of our update, we have one more surprise for you. We are also releasing our head crab to the Gary's Mod Workshop. It acts as a simple model replacement for the head crab, so it includes all the animations we did for it as well. And with that, feel free to use it in any projects non-commercial, with credit to the WarpSync/FUBAR team. As always, we greatly appreciate the huge amounts of support the community shows us, and a project like this cannot be made without the people who put this together. We are always looking to fill many important roles on the team. Clothing modeler and human character artist. We are always in need of 3D artists who specialize in clothing. Military uniforms, science team attire, and general clothing for our human characters are essential to bringing FUBAR's human cast to life. Vehicle modeler. FUBAR will feature a variety of military vehicles, from Ospreys to armored vehicles and utility trucks. We are looking for someone capable of creating high-quality, game-ready vehicle models, including some like the Osprey, which you will see the inside of. General hard surface artist. Talented hard surface artists are a huge asset to this team. Whether it's modeling lab equipment, industrial props, environmental clutter, etc., there's plenty to help with. If you enjoy detailing grounded, functional assets that will help sell a world, we want to hear from you. And that brings us to the end of our first update in 2026. Happy Pride Month, and stay tuned.